Yo, 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 what's good, everyone? This your boy C Hendo back once again. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Now, it's good to be back, man. And it's funny how things align. You know, I remember when he got traded, I was like, oh man, I'm gonna miss my guy. And that was like a little over a year ago or so. And then all of
Yeah,
a sudden, my son was at a Mavericks game, and man, he's back, man. But before we get to that, I got to introduce this guy, man. This not only is he a remarkable athlete, he's a great person, and that's something that in this world, especially right now, we need. But got my guy, Delino Deshields Jr. in the building. Delino,
yo, what's up? See Hendo.
man,
Bro.
man, this is amazing, man. So I got to ask you, man, quarantine, how's it been for you?
Well, it's a lot better now. You know what I'm saying? And earlier when it first happened, everybody was kind of panicking and trying to figure out what to do, especially with us when we had to go home and um, you know uh, it's been tough on everybody. But we've been holding up and um, I've been healthy for the most part, so that's a blessing. And yeah, yeah, I'm just trying to make it to spring training and hopefully go out through the whole season without having no issues. Um, Hopefully, as a league, we don't have no issues, and we could just start playing some ball.
Man, I got to ask you before we get into some baseball, how was it to play essentially in certain, obviously, ballparks without fans? How was that? Because, man, I know you're a guy that feeds off of energy, man, just from your walk up music and everything. You feed off of energy. How was that for you?
It was it was honestly pretty strange at first. It felt like I was in the GCL again, down in the Gulf Coast League. No, but if you don't know what the Gulf Coast League is, rookie ball is like
Mhm.
hot. Nobody in the stands. Just they don't even play walk up music for you. But so yeah, it was weird. But it's the big leagues. You're on the big league field. You're facing big league competition. Um, I feel like once you just get out there, it doesn't. You don't really notice.
Mhm.
Um, like I do feed off energy, but when I'm on the field, I tend to just block things out. Especially when I'm at the plate or I'm on defense. There's no interaction with fans. You can interact with the cutouts, but it was what it was. They wanted to make sure that we were all safe and healthy. Um, when we got the playoffs, though, that's when it started getting kind of weird. Because in the playoff environment, it's just a different beast.
Yeah, man.
You got um, people in the stands twirling towels, and it feels like everybody's into every single pitch, every at bat. Um, so that was probably like the weirdest thing about the season is just going into the playoffs and not having nobody there.
Man, so I got to ask you, obviously you come from a athletic family, and I wish my family had those genes because we didn't have those genes. Obviously, we probably had the genes to talk, but man, you come from an athletic family, and obviously your dad. When I was going to watch baseball, that was the guy that I looked at, man, because obviously being African American, that was a big deal for me. But for you, is what made you want to play baseball?
I mean, I've always wanted to play baseball ever since I was little because as a son, we look up to our fathers.
Yeah.
So my dad was like my example. I wanted to be like my dad. But when I was probably in the fifth, sixth grade, I started playing football, and um, I was like, dang, I really like football. I was really good. I was, when I was in fifth grade, I was just blowing everybody out the water. Um, then I got to high school. My freshman year, made the varsity team. Didn't play very good my freshman year. And then my sophomore year, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna focus on baseball. Didn't play football that season, and junior year got back into football. But So I was kind of in between on, you know, where I wanted to go, as
Mhm.
far as do I want to pursue this football thing that I'm passionate about also, or do I want to pursue this baseball thing that I've been around my whole life? And, one thing that I'm very grateful for is my parents. They didn't like pressure me to play baseball. They didn't push me to do
Mhm.
one thing. They kind of, gave me the ability to make that decision on my own, which I feel like really helped, my drive,
Yeah.
coming up. Sometimes parents can like push, kids to do something. They might not be like that into it. And then next thing you know, they're just, like I'm done. They can have all the time in the world, but they just don't have the
Yeah.
passion no more because they feel like they're forced to do it. So, um, my senior year of high school, well, my junior summer going into my senior year, that's like the biggest
Yeah.
summer for baseball players. That's where you can do all your scout stuff and go to
Mhm.
perfect game. This where the scouts come and really look at you. And
Yeah.
I always knew that I was good.
Yeah.
But I started hearing, oh, this you got like first round talent, like, and
Wow.
then the projections were like, oh, you're a projected first rounder. And I try not to pay attention to that stuff, but that gave me like, oh, like I can really go out there and have a chance to play in the big leagues. And people saw it from me, but
Mhm.
I didn't really see it in myself at the time. It wasn't until because I was just having fun, like I
Yeah.
wasn't. My mindset wasn't, oh, I'm gonna go and get drafted and do all this stuff. Like
Yeah.
I didn't care. I just wanted to play baseball and kick it with my homeboys
Mhm.
and that was that. And then as I started going, like I committed to LSU, I was going to play football and baseball there. And during that process, toward the end of it, after I committed, I started thinking about what I wanted to do, past college.
Yeah.
And football wasn't what I wanted to do past college. So that ultimately like sealed the deal for me as far as baseball goes.
Mhm.
Um, but for a long time, I was really um, weighing them out, and they were like close neck to neck, and
Yeah.
but the longevity of each sport, I play running back, so I didn't feel like getting beat up, by
Yeah.
250-pound men. Um, Not saying that I couldn't do it, but as
It's a
far as
different
my
animal.
health, right? If I had another option, then why not do that? But being around the clubhouse growing up, and being around like Mark McGuire, Sammy Sosa, Cal Ripken Jr., Albert Bell, like all these guys, like
Yeah.
definitely had some kind of impact on me and gave me that vision that this is something that I might want to do. Um, when I had gotten older, so all those things kind of that they really influenced me when it came to making that decision to play baseball.
So man, that's dope. And see, you had the experience because you were able to be around like those athletes as a kid. Now, who was the one athlete that when you saw him, a baseball player that you saw in particular, you like, oh man, this is him? Because I've had several players that were obviously had the opportunity to be around like some of the big league players at that time as kids. But was there a particular athlete when you saw him, it was like, oh my God, this is insane?
Nah, I wasn't really like I didn't get like excited about
Okay.
players.
Okay.
I don't know if that was just because like
So used to it.
yeah, it just
Okay.
wasn't. Even now, like I see athletes and it's just like, oh, what's good,
Yeah.
Um, I would say if I'd ever met Barry Bonds, I'd probably be like, yo, that's Barry,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's one guy that I didn't meet when I was playing. But even like Sammy Sosa, like I was like, oh, you know,
Yeah.
I wasn't starstruck. I wasn't, maybe I didn't really like understand at the time, but they were just guys.
Hmm.
It wasn't like people on the outside put them on a pedestal, but in the clubhouse they just
Normal guys.
a normal guy. So it didn't really like they didn't do nothing out the ordinary. Um, so yeah, I can't. There's not like a specific guy.
Man, I can just only imagine because, like, like I said, for me, it's weird for me because, like, I can sit there and, like, I'll go to a game and sometimes I'll leave early, then I'll get home and I see you guys on ESPN. I'm like, man, it's surreal for me, man. But I got to ask you, man, because, like, once again, family is a big deal to you. And one of my favorite basketball players, Diamond.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I just think that's, I covered the WNBA and I remember when it was time to, like, when she was getting drafted, I remember, like, they had all this stuff, this film and everything. Then they mentioned the family part. They were like, athletic family, it's there. The gene is there. And obviously having a chance to meet her, I saw it already. That competitive nature that certain look that y'all have. Like when you tuned in, I don't know if anybody's told you this, but I've seen you before the game. Sometimes when you locked in, it's a different sort of locked. I even stay back. You're a nice guy, but I stay back. I'm like, man, yeah, you in a different mode. Like, can you talk about growing up in a household like with that kind of, like, as your sister who's just, man, phenomenal athlete as well.
Yeah, I mean she's always been driven. Um, she'll tell you that she she didn't even like play team sports until she was like 7, 8 years old.
Mhm.
She was really into tennis. She was really good at tennis.
Wow.
And
Wow.
some of her idols were, Venus and Serena Williams.
Okay.
To the point where she went down to Florida to train with their dad.
Mhm.
Like she was getting to that point where she was really starting to love tennis, and um, but there was something in her that just wanted to be a part of a
Okay.
team, and that's how she kind of migrated to basketball. And my dad played basketball, and he was going to Villanova to play, so um, obviously, like she was around it and surrounded by it. Like during the off season, my dad would coach our basketball team, our youth basketball teams, and but yeah, I think her being around me and having an older brother that was competitive, that had my friends, that my teammates, we were all competitive, and I think that definitely helped her um,
Yeah.
develop and have that competitive mindset. But I guess it's the same for me too. Like she
Yeah.
really she challenged me and pushed me, and um, she didn't want me to be soft on her. She didn't want me to take it easy on her. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that kind of environment was just built um, organically. It wasn't didn't feel forced. It was just it was just in our DNA almost, and um, she's one of those type of players that all she wants to do is win.
Yeah.
When she was growing up, it was like I want to be the best on the floor,
Mm.
and she still say like she wants to be the best to
Yeah.
ever play. But she's all about winning championships. That's her mindset, and I think that makes her a better player and makes the players around her better too.
I agree. I agree. It just seems like that, like you said, the competitive nature, the team aspect is always team first with her. And I remember having an opportunity to interview her. It was kind of like she talked about the team more than herself. And, obviously it's a one-on-one interview, but she spoke highly of the team. But I got to
Yeah,
ask you, man, because as I brought in the intro, I brought up the fact that you're back in Texas. And I think that's, it's like it's like just like a thing, like a revolving circle. Like I was praying one day in some weird way that you would be back, and man, you're back. So
yeah,
can you talk about coming back, man? Because obviously you have friends here. Like these are guys that like what you would consider brothers in the locker room. Those guys, they're happy to have you back. Can you talk about
right.
that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I was really I knew my time in Texas would have come to an end at some point.
Mhm.
But when I got traded, I didn't think that it would be then. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It took me by surprise. I didn't get no fair warning. And I'm sure like a lot of guys are the same way. Like they get a phone call, hey, you're going over here, and that's that. But I felt like that, they wanted me to be a part of their future. That's something that, we had talked about, with the coaches and the front office, um and I had made strides. It's like this is my first time playing in the big leagues. Like y'all gave me a chance.
Yeah.
I didn't want to leave. And but with that being said, I did get traded for Corey Kluber, who is a 2-time Cy Young winner. So the Indians saw something in me that they valued to want to have me over there. So after talking to my dad got traded for Pedro Martinez, and
Wow.
Pedro was a prospect at the time.
Yep.
My dad was already in the big leagues. So people will say that's the worst trade in baseball because Pedro is a Hall of Famer. My dad is, played 13 years in the big leagues. But so after talking to him, one thing he always told me, he was like, he called me Papa. He was like, Papa, like, there's 29 other teams out there.
Yep.
You're not gonna like. You can't plan to stay with one team your whole career. Some guys do it, and that's a rarity. But for the most part, guys will go from here, and that's just the nature of the game. It's a business.
Yep.
So after I got non-tendered this year by the Indians, and a lot of it was just like finance reasons, and another business part of the game. But I became a free agent, and I was, there was probably like 5 or 6 teams that had interest, and I was really just waiting to find what the best fit was, and see kind of where the market was going as far as free agents go, and
Yeah.
once George signed, things kind of started. George Springer, once he signed, and things kind of started happening a little bit,
Yep.
and here I had just bought a house. Like there was a lot of things that came into play. There was
Yeah.
familiarity. Um, I have a good relationship with JD and the coaches over there. So I felt like if there was anything to kind of get me back on track or get me back on my feet, this would be the good, like a good place to start. Um, and it's a non-roster invite, so I have to make the team and go into camp and prove that I can be that guy. Something that I've been doing my whole career. And I like a challenge. I like competition. I'm gonna push everybody in that clubhouse, to be better,
Yeah.
because I'm not gonna come in there and try to make friends with nobody. Like it's all business for me. So hopefully that pushes guys to go out and and grind and we'll see what happens. But this was just a comfortable place for me to be, and I'm happy to be back.
Yeah, shout out to Clay Cuban and Danny Black and all the Rangers fans that are watching. They're excited, man. They're ecstatic. As a matter of fact, I believe one of them actually has on your jersey right now, and I'm seeing it. This is dope, man. Like this is like a coming to life thing. But I want you to talk about the Players Alliance, and I think that's a great thing that's going on with that because it's a unity. Can you talk about that? Because I know a couple guys that are involved with that as well. But
Yeah.
can you talk about the Players Alliance?
Yeah. So I mean, Players Alliance was something that was formed like over quarantine. Uh, after all the George Floyd stuff happened, and um, the people started talking about this racial inequality as a whole. Um, we as a group, and Cameron Maven and Curtis
Yeah.
Granderson, CC, Edwin Jackson, these guys kind of started this alliance, and it started out with a group chat on GroupMe, and
Okay.
It started out with just like all the African American big leaguers. And we were just talking about just issues, like things that we want to change, things that we want to do to you know build awareness and help our communities and this stuff. And then it kind of starts trickling down to guys in the minor leagues, and then the group started just growing, and it got bigger and bigger. And I think that's how the Players Alliance was formed. And it's really for us, it's more towards our communities, because a lot of the guys they didn't come up with the opportunity or the best fields to play at. And I'm sure, like,
Mm-hmm.
Other ethnicities and other cultures had the same similar issues, but this is something that we felt passionate about, that we wanted to do to make a difference in our own communities. And um this off season they did the tour,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just, we just wanted to give back to our community and create change to get more of our faces into the game. There's a lot of athletes that, especially that I grew up with, that played,
Yeah.
that had to stop when we were 12, 13 years old, because they couldn't
Yeah.
afford to go to these tournaments. They could afford to play on um, you know
Select
travel
teams.
team. You know
Yeah.
what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So, like, um, so yeah, that's kind of what it is. We're just trying to make a difference and make a change, and really just get more of our faces in the game. I think that would make the game better. Um, maybe give it more diversity. And brothers got swag. That's what we need.
Man.
So we definitely need some of that. So we're just trying to inspire and inspire kids to play, and give them the right things that they need, so that they can hopefully live a dream that we're living.
Man, I agree with the swag part, man. Shout, you got, like, man, look, Griffey was our guy, right? Griffey, Bonds, they all had Albert Bell, Movon, all those guys in the '90s. They had that swag. But this new generation with guys like you, Tim Anderson, Taylor, I love the swag that y'all bring, man. Y'all bring that sort of authenticity that we all can relate to. But
Right.
one last baseball thing, this year it was announced that they're going to recognize the Negro Leagues. And I guess from a statistical standpoint, that's a huge thing, because, I've always said that Josh Gibson may arguably be the greatest player to ever play baseball.
Yeah.
And he's not recognized that because we separate, major leagues from Negro leagues. But that's a thing now. Can you talk about that and how important that is, just for our culture?
Yeah. Well, I think they're allowing Negro League players to go into the Hall of Fame now.
Yeah, man.
Like the guys who didn't make it to the big league. Obviously there's Satchel Paige and
Yeah.
Jackie Robinson and those guys, but the guys that we don't talk about, like Cool Papa Bell and Josh Gibson. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
these are guys that are amazing athletes, amazing players, but nobody knows about them. And a couple years ago, I got my sleeve done on my leg just
Yeah.
because I wanted people to talk about it. I feel like it's important. It was very important to me growing up. My parents surrounded me around Negro League players. These guys were like my idols growing up. Like, I didn't look up to nobody but guys that played in the Negro League. So
Yeah.
I think it's overdue, in my honest
Mm-hmm.
opinion. And so yeah, I'm happy that they're doing it. I think it should be something that's done throughout the course of the year, not just like one day. You know what I'm
Of
saying?
course.
Because it's something that we should celebrate, and it's something that I'm very proud of to,
Yeah.
as African American man, to know that at one point, African Americans did have their own baseball league, and there was really good African American players that played. that just never got the chance to play, just like many of us now. You know what I'm saying? So, um, yeah, I'm extremely happy about that. Last year, actually, on my birthday was the Negro League Day that they did.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, that's a crazy coincidence, but
That was dope.
yeah, it was super dope. But yeah, I hope this thing doesn't just happen like 1 year, 2 years. Like I think it needs to go on until, for as long as the game is played.
I agree, man. And I salute Major League Baseball for taking that initiative to give us that history. And like you said, man, it's just a dope deal. Like, rest in peace to Henry Aaron, aka the Hammer, man. I think number 44 should be a number that we should just retire from baseball as well. Like,
Yeah.
And I think that should be a number that maybe on the 44, everybody's 44 game, each team has to wear number 44. Something cool like that. Cool like that. But I gotta ask you, man. So we're gonna talk some gaming, man. So I gotta ask you because I think this is cool. So when the first time you saw yourself on MLB The Show, what did you think, man? Because like as a kid, probably growing up, man, you was like, man, I created myself, and obviously you had a chance to probably play as your dad or play, on a team with your dad on there. But man, seeing yourself on like a video game, how is that for you?
It was pretty cool, especially with like technology now. Like I remember,
Man.
The MLB, the show guys come to the field and they put the stickers on your face and they scan your whole face. They have like 100 cameras in this little tent thing, and it's pretty accurate too. It's pretty good, and it was. But like I said, for me, I don't really get like excited or starstruck. I'm very mild, even keeled.
Yeah.
But it was a cool thing because, like you said, growing up, you play games and you create yourself, and now you got a game and it's like already in the game where it's you. It's like it's almost like a sense of you made it type of thing. So
yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you. I was playing MLB The Show. Well, the year before when you were on the Rangers, and like for some odd reason when I played the outfield, I had to request for a trade because I felt cool that you was playing center. They had me in right, and I was like, all right, it wouldn't be no position change. And they switched us up, and I was like, oh no, we can't do this. I gotta have my boy out there. That's how I knew it got too realistic for me. Like I started getting in my feelings about it. But I don't know if you know MLB The Show. They're putting Jackie Robinson on the commemorative cover, and I think that's actually dope, man. Like to see Jackie Robinson on the game. What do you think about that?
I actually didn't even know that.
So Jackie Robinson's going to be on the steel case. So last year, obviously, Javi Baez was the cover athlete. They didn't do a special commemorative, like a case for that. Yeah. They had Griffey on one like a year before that, I believe, but now they're doing one with Jackie Robinson, and I believe it's going to be a donation to his charities and benefits for each case that is sold. So I think that's dope.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that'll be the first time like a Negro League player was on the cover of the game. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Now we just need a brother that's playing on the cover.
We gonna have to because like I'm looking at a couple of you guys. I think it'd be dope that just to give us opportunity like that swag part. And I was telling Tim Anderson that I would love to see like a guy like that has that swag because that's what the kids like. Like we like I put myself in that class. Like I like to see that, man, the pimping of the home runs and the cool look, man, wearing the chains and just being authentic, the tattoos. Like I like that. That's us. That's our culture.
I honestly thought Tim would have been a good guy to go on the cover.
Man, he'd be perfect actually.
Yeah, and then they told all respect to Tatis, like, you a dog, you have fun, I love that, but my man Timmy was doing it before you, so
yeah. And I'm mad about this thing with Timmy, man. Out of the 100 baseball players, he wouldn't even voted in the top 100. He had a batting title that same summer.
Yeah.
I told Tim, I said, I'm not gonna get into that. That's just hating. But I want to know, I want to see how the votes work because you can't explain to me a dude winning the batting title. But I gotta ask you, man. So I know you do play video games, and what games do you play? I know you've been busy, man, working, but I know when you get some little chill time, you like to hit up the video games every once in a while. What's some games that you play?
I big Madden guy.
Okay.
play. I play the show a lot, but not when I'm playing baseball.
It's hard. Yeah, it makes sense because it's weird. Like basketball players tell me it's weird to play the game and be in the game. Like you try to get away from it. Yeah.
Right. So I'll tend to get on that. During the off season, I play a little Call of Duty. Mainly just zombies. I love the zombie game. I don't know why. And then I have a Switch that I love playing, like all the Mario Odyssey games and.
Oh man, you see that thing behind me? I don't know if you can see it, but I got my little Switch up there. We're going to I finally got a Switch, man. It's going down.
Yeah, mine's sitting right here under my TV. But yeah, Legend of Zelda. I think that was probably my favorite game I ever played. I don't know if you played it.
Yeah, of course.
Oh yeah, it's just I couldn't stop playing the game. I didn't play Zelda like growing up, and then when I first got my Switch, everybody was like, "Oh, you gotta get this game. You gotta get it."
It's fun.
Takes long as hell, but super dope game. Like I would play it all over again.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are kind of the games that I play right now.
Okay. So if you could be on a video game as a character, not baseball, obviously, that's not use baseball or anything because you play the sport. But if you could pick a video game, meaning like Grand Theft Auto or like Call of Duty, and they have your person on the game as maybe an antagonist or maybe the main person, what game would it be?
God of War.
Wow. You know what? That is the first. I am going to say that and send that to the people because, man, I heard Grand Theft Auto is always number one answer. I'm just letting you know by far. Grand Theft Auto, but God of War. Wow. So you want to go against Kratos?
Yeah, I want my face painted. I want all that stuff.
Okay.
God of War is one of my favorite games to play. Even like I played it from like when it first came out all the way up until the most recent one.
Mm-hmm.
So,
man, God of War. Okay, I like that. All right, so last gaming question. PlayStation or Xbox?
PlayStation.
Because I know you got Nintendo.
PlayStation.
There you go, PlayStation. Yeah, I got both, man. You know me, but yeah, PlayStation.
Yeah.
You got a 5, right? I know you got a 5, right?
I don't got a 5.
Okay, you got to get a 5. See, yeah, we're going to talk. We got to get you a 5, man. We got a 5. Sony, y'all listening? Y'all know what to do. Come on now. Let's talk sneakers real quick in fashion because that's one thing I think vastly a lot of people don't know about you. You're a fashion guy, a sneaker guy, and obviously you're Adidas. Can you talk about being an Adidas athlete? What that means for you?
It's nice to feel wanted by somebody. In the beginning when I signed with Adidas, they wanted to promote speed and they wanted to promote, athletes in the game. And, that was really exciting because that played right into to what I do. But yeah, it's super, super cool. And then I just, my godbrother just got a deal with Adidas with Fear of God. So,
oh man,
I thought that was huge for him, and I'm super excited for him. So,
y'all gonna do a collab together? Please say you are. So when I go in the clubhouse, I better see a pair that is exclusively for you. Because then what I'm gonna do is say, hey, after the game, I know you ain't gonna do nothing with these. I need you to hand them over so I can put them behind me. So y'all, is that gonna be something? You ain't gotta say yes or no, but I'm pretty sure you're thinking that in your mind right now, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've asked him about it when he was with Nike, and because they did the basketball shoe, and he did my sister's basketball shoes for All-Star game. Like she had the yellow wave, the blue wave, and the all whites.
Yep,
she was hooping in them last year, and they just didn't get to that point. And I think he was kind of feeling like he was wanting to leave and branch out. And he got a really good opportunity with Adidas. I can always say great things about their whole company as a whole. But we'll see. I hope if he does make a baseball spike, he's like, hey D, like I got something for you. But
Yeah.
he's a really busy guy. I'm sure he got some. He's very creative. I'm sure he got some stuff up his
Yeah.
sleeve for the people. So we'll see.
Yeah, man, that Fear God was crazy. I gotta admit, that's arguably one of my favorite collabs. I know people talk off white, but I love the Fear God, what they were doing. And I can't wait to see, because I feel like with 3 stripes, he's gonna have an opportunity to do more.
Yeah,
So let's talk about
they're gonna give
yeah,
him more freedom to kind of to use his creative brain and kind of run his and do what he wants to do. I feel like Nike. I don't know for a fact, but you know, I feel like they might have been trying to like control it too much, which I
yeah,
understand is their brand, it's their logo on the shoe. Like I get it,
yeah,
but Jerry, his idea brain just be going, 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 going. So
man.
you got a company that can, you know, let the juices get flowing and just brainstorm ideas, and they're like, yeah, let's do it. I mean, why not?
Oh, I can't wait. All right, before we get out here, we got to talk some music, because I know that's one thing I will say this. If you're a fan and you've been at the games, Delano has some, like, I'm going to tell you this. Out of the many years of me covering sports, I had never heard Bone Thugs and Harmony played as a walk-up music or anything in the stadium or anything. And you were one of the first ones that came out to Bone Thugs and Harmony. Well, I'm not going to say, obviously it could have been somebody in the 90s that did it, but for the
Right.
most part, in this generation, I've never heard it. But I gotta ask you, man, music-wise, what you listen to these days?
Man, I listen to about everything, to be honest with you. I listen to country music. Uh,
Okay,
um, I like the old rock and roll music. Like,
okay,
I grew up in a very diverse environment. Obviously my go-to is hip hop. Um, I love my rap music.
yeah,
Um, I love my old school hip hop. That's my dad all day. Um,
yeah,
his favorite group was NWA.
yeah. I'm pretty sure he made you watch the movie 100 times, didn't he?
Yeah, it's I don't know if it was NWA or uh
Public Enemy, maybe.
yeah, I think that's what it is,
Okay,
Public Enemy. So yeah, the old school hip hop thing came from him, and then my grandma, she always, played the old school Frankie Beverly, Luther
yeah,
Vandross. Uh, you know, I can't even think. There's so many. I'm trying to think
yeah,
of somebody, but I have that old school. And if you watch me play at the
yeah.
stadium, I play all kinds of music. Marvin Gaye.
Bro, you came out to Frankie Beverly Maze one time. I was amazed by that. I had never heard that in my life. I swear to you. Like, that's the one that may have caught me off guard more, because I was sitting there and I'm on my phone, and it's hot in Texas. And I
Right.
was sitting out here the music. I'm like, man, am I at the barbecue? What's going on? And I
Yeah.
look up, I'm like, oh man, it's Delino. I said, this is amazing, man.
Yeah. That's my feel good music. Like when I'm
Yeah,
going to the plate, like I don't like getting too hype. A lot of people that have their own style, and I like being different and get the people like into it. You know what I'm saying? And um, that's 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 usually what I go to. I this past year I had some Jeezy though. Representing the
oh, man.
A. And that jump went crazy in the stadium. I ain't even gonna lie.
Yeah, it does. Jeezy got some, like, I don't like to call it the jock jams, but Jeezy has the music where, like, if you playing in the right stadium, the right atmosphere, it's gonna get you going at a
Right,
different level.
right,
So
right,
yeah,
right.
shout out to Jeezy, man. So I gotta ask you, if you could pick, let's just say they had a live band or a rapper at the stadium, and he was able to perform live as you go up the bat, or a band, what would it be?
A live
Yeah.
group.
Like, they actually pulled this out where they can have live music as your walk-up music. Or like that the band is there. Maybe you have seen Ranger Stadium, you had the old stadium, you had the center field. Maybe they were out there, but like they perform live. Who would you want that to be for your walk-up music? Because that's a good one. And you know what? I'll make it better for you. Because I know it's tough, because you may want to go old school, and unfortunately some may be deceased. But I say dead or alive. You can use anyone. Who would it be?
In their prime.
Yes.
Jeez, man, I don't even know.
That's a good one, right? Yeah.
Yeah, because like people sound different when they sing it live
You're right.
versus the records and stuff. So I haven't like heard people sing live. So
Yeah.
like like I haven't heard everybody sing live. So it's hard for me to be like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, I would.
I could imagine Pac. If I could pick one, I would say Pac. That would be crazy.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about, honestly. But like I don't know how he was, performing. I'm sure he
Amazing.
was a great performer.
Yeah.
Maybe Jay-Z.
Ooh, you get Hove. That's a different level there, man. Yeah. That would be crazy. Hove would be crazy. Yeah, Hove would be crazy.
Yeah, that's probably
Okay. All right, so before we got here, let's play this little trivia game called Got Bars. And I'm gonna get you some of these since you're in town now. It's called Got Bars. It's a hip-hop trivia game, but we're not gonna do the trivia part. I want to hold you up on that. So we're gonna do the opinionated answers on this. So we're gonna do 5 of them real quick. So the first one, these are action cards. So the first one must go. Drake, Meek Mill, J. Cole, or Big Sean.
Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, this gets everybody. I start off with a banger with this one. Usually I try to end it with this one. I'm starting off strong on this one.
I'm gonna go Big Sean.
Yeah, that's usually the answer. It's tough too because he got some hits. It's tough. Okay, well, since you mentioned Jeezy earlier, Gucci Mane or Jeezy? It's another tough one. I know.
See, I had this argument with one of my homeboys, and he was like, "Man, Gucci, 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 Gucci," and I'm like, "Okay, Gucci has more volume of music, right?"
Yeah.
So growing up, like Gucci was the shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he was.
Also, Jeezy during his time was also the shit too, like on a different level than Gucci. Like Gucci, like I grew up in Atlanta, so like everybody in Atlanta knew who Gucci was. You listen to Gucci, you ain't from Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? But Jeezy was having stuff that was like everybody knew who Jeezy was. I'm not saying everybody knew who Gucci was, but
yeah. When you get co-signed by Jay-Z, and Thug Motivation 1-on-1 may be one of the greatest albums in hip hop history. One of them, like easily. So, like, I agree with you, and that's usually the answer. I've only had one person out of 100 people say Gucci, and I don't. He was just like, yeah, he picked Gucci because of the volume of music. He was like, look, the mixtape stuff. That's what I'm into. Okay, Jay-Z or Nas?
What are these questions, yo? Like,
hey man, it's nothing wrong because we know they're great, and that's the thing. Because it's like you pick one, you like, dang, because like, yeah, this is a tough one for me.
Yeah,
and although I think Jay-Z is the greatest rapper of all time, it's still tough for me.
Yeah, I would say Jay-Z.
Yeah,
all respect to Nas.
Oh yeah, definitely. Okay, in your opinion, who's the greatest hip hop group of all time?
Hip hop group. Outkast.
Okay, shout out to the A. One time for Outkast, man. And I agree with you. Yeah, I don't think it's really even like I know respect to NWA, and I grew up in that generation, but man, when you look at Outkast, if they do a versus, I don't think there's anybody in the world that can beat that.
Yeah,
like they can play like 2 CDs, be like, yeah, bro, we got you, we good.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Okay, and last one. What was the first album that you bought, if you remember? CD, whatever.
I honestly don't even know if I bought CDs. I think the first album, honestly, this will sound stupid, but it might have been Alicia Keys.
Oh, ain't nothing wrong with that. Hey, because like, hey, people seem to forget, like, man, doing that little run, Alicia Keys, Usher, and all them, that was the music. That's what we went into. The hip hop was changing and everything.
It was either Alicia Keys or Bow Wow, one of the two.
Ain't nothing wrong. Look, people laugh now, but as I was telling a couple of the youngsters, I was like, look, when Bow Wow was coming up, that was different.
He was it.
Yeah, he was it. Like I thought that was it. Like that was it. That was a thing. But man, we're gonna end this. I'm gonna close it down. Obviously, we're gonna and you can stay here. But before we get out, man, I just want you to. I want to thank you personally for coming on, man. I'm personally, you know how I feel about you coming back. Shout out to my boy Barry B, who's watching right now. You know he's over there laughing his tail off. He's like, oh man, my boys are doing a video together. Shout out to Rard, of course. I know you in the building, Rard, of course. Shout out to everybody that's tuned in right now. I see you guys, but for you, man, I'm just happy for you, man, because you know me and you have talked definitely a lot, and just to see the maturity and the growth in you, man. I will say this, you know, I'm one of the rare media people that don't like to write about drama or anything. I like to have fun with you guys and get people to know you. And I just want to say, man, I'm happy for you and your success, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Appreciate it.
All right, man, before we get out, you got anything, man, like charities, anything going?
Not at the moment. You know,
okay.
I'm just ready to play some ball, to be honest with you.
Well, Rangers fans, I know y'all listening right now, so I see you guys saying y'all ready to get them jerseys, so I need y'all to get that powder blue Sunday jersey in particular. And then when they get that stadium open on Sunday, we need to see those jerseys there because I will be there too. So I appreciate you, man, and I'm going to close down, but stay in, but I'm going to close it down. Everybody, I appreciate you tuning in to Always Working. Had my boy Delino Deshields for the new layout and everything. That's what I love, man. I'm glad to have this guy back, and I appreciate you guys, and we're out.
No doubt.
It's easy.